$1.4 billion. That is how much money the NCAA incurred in the 2016 fiscal year. A huge chunk of it came from people wanting to see D1 student athletes compete. They may get a free ride to college, which is always nice, but it doesn't always count for that much. Division I student athletes should be compensated for all the money they bring in. I'm not saying they need to get paid a ton like professional athletes. They will get their time when they get a big check. But being a student athlete is a full-time job. Many people argue with this, saying that they are getting their college paid for. That does not cover all their food, gas, clothes, or any other necessities that a student needs. With the schedule of these student athletes, it would be pretty tough to get or contain a job through the school year, which then would leave them relying on their parents. Their parents want to help, so they might give them some money here and there. But what if their parents aren't very wealthy? That student athlete then probably has to try and get a job. But how does that person focus on school, sports, and work all in one day? On a normal day, they would have to go to class, end up getting 3 to 4 hours of studying and homework. Then they have practice after classes until like 5, and then they have to go to work till 10 p.m. And then they have to study, which makes no sense because then they're up till 2 in the morning, and then they have to wake up at 6 in the morning for a workout. Tyson Hartnett stated in an article on why student athletes should be paid in 2013 that scholarships often cover most of the student athletes' books and room expenses, but even a few extra $100 per year could compensate for the lack of time these students have to earn spending money on a part-time job. To be drafted into the NBA, a player must be 1 year removed from high school and 19 years old. If players are good enough, chances are they are going to leave college after a year and enter the draft so they can make some money. For the NFL, you must be 3 years removed, which is keeping most of them around for the full education, but some are still struggling with money. Tom Kruckemeyer stated in an article from 2017, Major College Athletes Still Not Reaping Their Rewards, that an average football player in a major program has an annual economic value of $435,000, while an average men's basketball player has an economic value of $591,000. While recognizing that scholarships that players receive have substantial value of around $25,000 per year, clearly these players are woefully undercompensated. I agree that college sports are more competitive than professional, because the kids are still trying to impress professional teams in order to get drafted and get paid. Many people say that giving college athletes some money would take away some of the competitiveness. They are so wrong. As John Brill stated in an article about college athlete compensation in 2013, while cash payment may not completely solve the problems of a college athlete, it may perpetuate some economic issues. Payment is what these players are entitled to because they are symbols that fill the stadiums across national campuses. It would help student athletes focus on school and their sport and take away the worry of money out of the mix. This, in the long run, could help the NCAA and the professional leagues by keeping kids in the NCAA for longer. This is stopping college athletes from staying in college and getting more experience before entering the leagues. It is also a huge loss for the NCAA, money-wise. There are many ways for them to make money from paying athletes. So, in conclusion, Division I student athletes should be compensated for all the money they bring in. They bring in tons of money to the NCAA and their college or university. Student athletes don't have time to get a job and make money. Compensating Division I student athletes would be beneficial in many ways, so let's get to it. Thank you.